Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly attract others while you're left puzzling over what secret formula they possess? Well, you're not alone. The truth is, attraction isn't just about looks or charm. It runs much deeper than what most dating coaches tell you. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on the psychology of attraction to reveal 7 unspoken rules that nobody talks about, but everyone responds to. These aren't your typical dress well and make eye contact tips. These are the subtle, powerful forces that create genuine attraction, the kind that makes someone think about you long after you've left the room. Whether you're single, dating, or looking to deepen the attraction in your current relationship, understanding these hidden principles can transform how others perceive and respond to you. Let's dive into the science and psychology behind what really makes people drawn to each other. Rule 1. Authenticity creates stronger attraction than perfection. The first unspoken rule of attraction might surprise you. Your imperfections can actually make you more attractive, not less. We're constantly bombarded with messages about presenting our best selves, but research shows that vulnerability and authenticity create far more powerful connections. When we meet someone who seems perfect, our subconscious raises red flags. We sense something's off because perfection doesn't exist in the real world. Instead, showing genuine vulnerability, admitting when you don't know something, sharing an embarrassing story, or even acknowledging your nervousness, creates trust. This phenomenon, known as the pratfall effect in psychology, demonstrates that competent people who make minor mistakes are actually rated as more likable than those who appear flawless. Think about your closest relationships. Didn't they deepen after you showed your true self, quirks and all? The same applies to attraction. Being authentic signals confidence in who you really are. It tells others, "I'm secure enough to show you the real me." This quiet self-assurance is magnetic in a world where most people hide behind carefully curated personas. Remember, perfection creates admiration from a distance, but authenticity creates connection up close. The next time you feel tempted to hide your quirks or pretend to be something you're not, remember that your authenticity isn't just refreshing, it's deeply attractive. Rule 2. Selective vulnerability trumps constant availability. In our hyper-connected world, we've been led to believe that immediate responses and constant availability show interest. But the second unspoken rule reveals something counterintuitive. Selective vulnerability is significantly more attractive than constant availability. When you're always available, always responding instantly to texts, always free whenever someone wants to make plans, you unintentionally devalue your time and attention. This doesn't mean playing manipulative games, but rather having a full, engaging life that doesn't stop for someone you've just met. Psychological research on scarcity bias shows we value what isn't readily available. This applies to human connections too. Selective vulnerability means choosing when to open up emotionally rather than oversharing immediately. It means revealing layers of yourself gradually, allowing curiosity and anticipation to build. This creates a dynamic where each interaction feels like a meaningful exchange rather than a given. Look at the most charismatic people you know. They're likely not the most available. They have boundaries, priorities, and a sense that their time has value. When they do choose to be present with you, their full attention feels like a gift rather than an obligation. This selective approach doesn't push people away. It actually draws them in, making them work a little to earn your time and emotional investment. Cultivate healthy boundaries around your time and emotional energy. Be genuine in your interactions, but recognize that mystery and anticipation are powerful elements of attraction that disappear with constant availability. Rule 3. Perceived challenge maintains interest longer than easy pursuit. The third unspoken rule explains why attraction often fades after the chase ends. Humans are naturally drawn to achievable challenges. When something or someone comes too easily, we question its value. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about genuinely being hard to get, meaning your standards, self-respect, and fulfilling life make you selectively choosy about who earns your attention. Neurologically, the anticipation of reward, rather than the reward itself, triggers the strongest dopamine release in our brains. This explains why the pursuit phase of relationships often feels so intoxicating. When there's some uncertainty, not about your interest, but about whether a connection will unfold, the brain remains engaged and intrigued. This doesn't mean being artificial or manipulative. Rather, it means maintaining your standards and not abandoning your life, interests, and boundaries just because someone attractive shows interest. Having standards creates natural challenge. Requiring respectful treatment creates natural challenge. Having a fulfilling life that doesn't instantly revolve around a new person creates natural challenge. Notice how the most captivating people aren't those who are desperate to be liked, but those who are selective about who they invest in. They have a quiet confidence that communicates, "I'm interested, but I'm also evaluating whether you're right for me." This mutual evaluation creates respect that passive acceptance never does. By maintaining your identity and standards, you create a healthy tension that keeps attraction alive long after the initial excitement would otherwise fade. The goal isn't to be difficult, but to be valuable enough that earning your attention feels like a meaningful achievement. Rule 4. Non-verbal alignment matters more than what you say. The fourth unspoken rule reveals why some people create instant attraction despite saying little. Our brains trust non-verbal cues over words, often without our conscious awareness. Research shows that when verbal and non-verbal messages conflict, people believe what they see, not what they hear. Communication studies have found that only about 7% of emotional meaning comes from the words themselves. The remaining 93% comes from vocal tone, facial expressions, body language, and other non-verbal signals. This explains why text-based communication leads to so many misunderstandings. We're missing most of the message. When your words say you're confident, but your body language shows nervousness, people sense the incongruence and trust dissipates. Conversely, when your non-verbal cues align with your words, you create a powerful sense of authenticity that others find magnetically attractive. This alignment signals congruence, that you're integrated, honest, and self-aware. Developing this alignment isn't about learning to perform confidence, but about genuinely cultivating it from within. Simple practices like maintaining comfortable eye contact, speaking at a measured pace, taking up appropriate space with your body, and reducing nervous movements can dramatically increase your attraction factor. Most importantly, Becoming aware of what your body is communicating helps you address the root cause of any misalignment. Are you trying to appear interested when you're not? Are you hiding nervousness instead of acknowledging it? True alignment comes from self-awareness and comfort with your authentic reactions, even if they're not always what you think they should be. Practice mindfulness of your non-verbal communication and work toward alignment rather than performance. When what others see matches what they hear from you, trust and attraction naturally follow. Rule 5. Micro-expressions of interest outweigh grand gestures. The fifth unspoken rule of attraction explains why subtle cues often create more connection than obvious ones. Our brains are wired to detect and respond to micro-expressions of interest, those fleeting, often unconscious signals that reveal genuine emotion. While movies celebrate grand romantic gestures, real-life attraction typically builds through dozens of small, authentic moments. A brief eyebrow raise when you see someone you're attracted to. The slight dilation of pupils when they speak about something that excites them. The millisecond longer eye contact that signals interest. The subtle lean-in during conversation. These micro-expressions are processed by our subconscious and significantly impact our feelings of connection. What makes these small signals so powerful is their authenticity. They're extremely difficult to fake consistently because many happen automatically. Our brains have evolved to detect even subtle incongruence as a survival mechanism. This is why practice pickup lines or memorized compliments often feel hollow. They lack the accompanying micro-signals of genuine interest. Developing awareness of these subtle exchanges doesn't mean manipulating them, but rather becoming conscious of the small ways you already express interest and allowing them to happen naturally. Notice when you're suppressing your natural expressions out of fear or habit. Are you stopping yourself from smiling when you feel a genuine connection? Are you hiding your natural curiosity about someone? Instead of focusing on saying the right things, pay attention to the authentic moments of connection and allow those small expressions to flow naturally. A genuine smile that reaches your eyes, attentive listening without interruption, and natural mirroring of body language will always create more attraction than rehearsed compliments or calculated gestures. Rule 6. Creating positive emotional associations outlasts physical attraction. The sixth unspoken rule reveals why some people remain attractive long after initial impressions. Our brains associate people with how they make us feel, not just how they look. This psychological principle, known as emotional association, explains why lasting attraction often has less to do with appearance and more to do with emotional experience. When someone consistently makes you feel a certain way, whether it's understood, respected, amused, or inspired, your brain creates a neural pathway linking that person to those positive emotions. This is why someone who initially didn't seem physically attractive can become increasingly appealing as you experience more positive emotions in their presence. The reverse is equally true. Someone physically attractive who creates negative emotional states, stress, inadequacy, confusion, or insecurity, will actually become less attractive over time as your brain associates them with those unpleasant feelings, regardless of their appearance. This explains why genuine humor is so attractive. It creates immediate positive emotions. It's also why active listening is powerful. It creates feelings of validation and importance. And it's why neediness repels. It creates feelings of pressure and obligation. To leverage this principle, focus on the emotional states you create rather than just the impressions you make. Do people feel more relaxed in your presence? More interesting? More valued? These emotional gifts create attraction that deepens rather than diminishes over time. This doesn't mean people won't appreciate your physical appearance, but it does mean the feelings you consistently create will ultimately matter more for lasting attraction. When you become a source of positive emotional experiences, people will find reasons to be around you again and again. Rule 7. Reciprocal curiosity creates deeper attraction than self-promotion. The final unspoken rule of attraction explains why great conversationalists often have the most romantic success. Reciprocal curiosity, the genuine interest in discovering another person, creates significantly stronger attraction than talking about yourself, regardless of your accomplishments. Harvard research shows that talking about ourselves activates the same pleasure centers in the brain as food and money. This explains why many people dominate conversations with self-disclosure. However, the paradox is that by allowing others this pleasure, by asking thoughtful questions and showing authentic interest in their answers, you become associated with those positive feelings. True curiosity can't be faked. It requires being present enough to ask follow-up questions that build on what someone has shared, rather than just waiting for your turn to speak. This kind of attention is increasingly rare in our distracted world, making it exceptionally valuable when experienced. Neurologically, when someone feels genuinely understood through your curious questions, their brain releases oxytocin, the same bonding chemical released during physical touch. This creates an emotional intimacy that superficial conversations never achieve. This doesn't mean never sharing about yourself. Rather, it means balancing disclosure with discovery and recognizing that your sincere interest in others often creates more attraction than your attempts to appear interesting. When you do share about yourself, do so in response to their curiosity, creating a reciprocal exchange rather than a performance. The most attractive people aren't those who impress others with their achievements or appearance, but those who make others feel seen, heard, and valued through genuine curiosity and attention. By becoming someone who gives the rare gift of being truly interested, you create an attraction that superficial approaches can never match. These 7 unspoken rules of attraction reveal something profound. While we often focus on how we appear to others, lasting attraction is created by how we make others feel in our presence. Authenticity, selective vulnerability, healthy challenge, non-verbal alignment, micro-expressions, positive emotional associations, and reciprocal curiosity. These principles work because they tap into the psychological and neurological realities of human connection. What makes these rules powerful is that they don't require you to become someone different, just a more aware, intentional version of yourself. They don't ask you to manipulate or perform, but to understand the subtle dynamics that either enhance or diminish natural attraction. As you move forward, remember that attraction isn't something you chase or demand, but something you inspire by how you move through the world and interact with others. By understanding these hidden principles, you can create meaningful connections that go far beyond the surface-level advice that dominates dating discussions. I'd love to hear which of these principles resonated most with you, or what experiences you've had that confirm or challenge these rules. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights on relationships and human connection.